The economy is in a debt crisis that needs to be addressed right away. Did you get to know about it? Will a web that threatens financial stability emerge from this situation? Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JPMorgan, gave a warning regarding the same situation. He has already listed down several issues that currently exist on behalf of this debt. Let's have a look at those without any delay. If international leaders make the same mistakes that occurred in the 1930s and ultimately led to International War II, the United States may be facing its fourth significant turning point in its history since the early 20th century. Frederick Kemp, the CEO of the foreign policy think tank Atlantic Council, claims that more CEOs of large firms are concerned about this danger in the present day. This may be the most dangerous time the world has seen in decades. That is a sentiment that Kemp claims is present in many corporate boardrooms. During the CNBC Global Evolve Virtual Summit, Kemp stated, "Every CEO and bank I am talking to is factoring in geopolitics in their thinking in a way they didn't 5 years ago." According to Kemp, this change has not occurred overnight with the start of the Middle East conflict between Israel and Hamas. It has been intensifying over the last 5 years as a number of external shocks have rocked the market's established order. According to Kemp, Putin's war in Ukraine was a wake-up call, with more C-suite members incorporating risk management into C-suite roles, adding outsourced partnerships with consultants, and integrating geopolitical analysis into government affairs teams. In a manner that it hasn't in my lifetime, geopolitics is entering the boardroom, he added. No one is saying it won't affect business. CEOs might reasonably conclude that things could grow worse, he said. 4 exogenous shocks have occurred in the first 4 years of the current decade. The U.S. government's sloppy withdrawal from Afghanistan, which damaged the country's reputation internationally. It's possible that you won't be able to foresee the next risk. But why wouldn't there be more in the following 6 years if there was one in the first 4? World War I, World War II, and the Cold War were the last 3 significant turning points in history. Today, tensions and dangers are greater than ever. The world is more connected than it has ever been, and technology has the power to cause more harm faster, he declared. According to Kemp, the United States must make sure the international system is maintained. He gave examples of how the United States got it right after World War II, creating organizations like the United Nations and NATO, while its decisions during World War I resulted in isolationism, the Holocaust, and millions of deaths. The risk is increased by the expanding bilateral ties between North Korea, China, Russia, Iran, and other rivals of the United States. Though they might not be planning directly against the United States, the authoritarian nations are collaborating more than Kemp has ever seen. They have the common goal of not wanting the United States to run the global system any longer, he said. Since Kemp believes that the United States is not yet sufficiently united with its allies to resist this partnership, that hazard carries a significant risk. In contrast to analysts' expectations of $3.90 per share, the bank announced earnings of $4.33 per share. Refinitiv data shows that revenue came in at $39.9 billion, exceeding the $39.57 billion forecast. As the biggest bank in the country, JPMorgan Chase is a leading indicator of the state of the U.S. economy, holding assets of around $3.9 trillion. Additionally, the New York-based bank disclosed a 6% decline in revenue from investment banking for the third quarter. The bank reported that fewer equity and debt underwriting transactions resulted in a 3% decrease in investment banking fees. In the third quarter, deposits decreased by 4% from the same period last year. So what is something that we should worry about at this point? He has voiced worries about the national debt and the possible harm it could do to the economy of the nation. Dimon has pushed legislators to take this problem seriously and stressed the significance of managing and lowering the nation's mounting debt through long-term solutions. As a solution, he has addressed few sustainable solutions. While he doesn't openly criticize or favor one party over another. Dimon clarified that the just sworn in Congress ought to propose further competent policies in the areas of infrastructure, immigration, healthcare, and education. We require an immigration strategy. Illegal immigration must end. The CEO declared, "We need more legal immigration. I would be sympathetic to DACA and similar initiatives. We will therefore expand by 3% if we follow those steps correctly." Federal Reserve balance sheet unwinding and rising interest rates might potentially be contributing factors to an economic problem, according to Dimon. The Federal Reserve has hinted about removing $2 to $3 trillion in cash off its balance sheet through the sale of securities. That might eventually be the reason for the market's current volatility and other issues. And when they get there, they'll have to deal with it, Dimon remarked. And it's a combination of money, fiscal stimulus, and laws and regulations. It's a rather intricate kind of stuff. However, I do anticipate that they will eventually present an issue. According to Dimon, preparing for an economic crisis entails stockpiling the greatest tools in your own toolbox to stave off policy-driven economic turbulence. In terms of crisis, it's having the army to fight it beforehand, proper margins, proper accounting, and then when they happen, you better move very quickly and kind of do the right thing, he stated. It's the kind of thing Warren Buffett talks about. It never goes backward, albeit it occasionally ceases to advance and innovate. Additionally, we must ensure that our incredibly wealthy economy continues to be a part of it. What are your views on this situation? The national debt of the United States has long been a source of concern because it has been rising over time. During the last update, the debt was staggering at over $28 trillion, a staggering amount that has been made worse by a number of circumstances. Government spending, particularly on defense and entitlement programs, as well as lower tax collections as a result of various tax breaks and economic downturns, are major contributors to this debt. The financial situation was further stressed by the COVID-19 pandemic, which led to large stimulus measures that increased the debt. The sheer magnitude of the U.S. debt raises concerns about its long-term sustainability and the potential consequences for future generations, including higher taxes, inflationary pressures, and less fiscal flexibility for addressing emerging issues. Some contend that manageable debt can be advantageous for economic growth. The public debt, as well as the debt held by federal trust funds and other government accounts, totals $34 trillion in gross federal debt. This can be conceptualized as the government's debt to itself plus its debt to other parties. To put it simply, the threat that America's massive and growing debt poses to our economic future makes it important. Several perspectives on the debt and its connections to the economy, the budget, and American families can be found in the infographic below. Do you think this situation can be resolved easily? And that's all about it. Share your thoughts in the comment section. If you find this video informative, please give a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to click on the bell icon to not miss out on any video and to get notifications on time. Don't hesitate to give suggestions for our videos. Catch you next time.